All right. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order, please, with a pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Roll call, Mr. Lundberg.
Mrs. Ohm.
Yes.
Bodie. Yes. Saxer. Yes. Scott.
Yes.
Bell. Yes.
All right. If there are no changes to the agenda, I would entertain a motion to approve as presented, please.
So move.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. No conflict of interest disclosure or waiver requests this evening. Takes us to approval of our regular meeting minutes dated October 14th and October 28th, and a special meeting on October 30th. I would entertain a motion to approve those, please.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All of those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Community input. I was not anticipating this evening. Please correct me if I am wrong.
Madam Chair, no community input is showing up at this time.
Thank you very much. Financial items, bills and claims. Mr. Lundberg.
Okay, we're kind of back in the mode of recurring type bills, utilities, repairs, and lots of activity workers this time of year as we've gone through the first part of the fiscal year. I just had a couple noted. Page 12 was our payment to Pesca Construction for $576,640. Page 13 shows the amount of activity travel that we've had in the last month. Reading bus line, $31,300 that we spent on all the various travel, coach travel, bus transportation. Total bills were $1,074,430. Advance payments breakdown was $8,511.99. We had a number of pay vouchers this month, just under $112,000. And lastly, the food service bills, $237,144. Entertain any specific questions you guys had.
Any questions from anyone tonight? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the bills and claims as presented, please.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Financial report, Mr. Lundberg.
Okay, quickly going through the cash report for the month of October with our proceeds from our capital outlay certificates. We have very inflated numbers, $32.3 million coming into the month, $3,560,000 of receipts, and $5,218,000 of disbursements. Left $30.5 million at the end of October, of which $5.5 million was in the general fund, $16,494 in the capital outlay fund, $406,924 in the bond redemption fund, $23,000 in the enterprise fund, and $24.6 million in our project fund. $3,460,000 is itemized on the next two pages. Following that, we have an investment report of $27,711,000. Capital projects fund, we laddered about 15 seed certificates of deposit, the amount of $23,950,000, averaged over all those certificates 4.13, and then our general operating cash that we have in a money market account is at 4.583. Payroll for the month of October was a normal payroll. Recall that I said that this fiscal year a normal payroll will be about 2.9 million, 2,885,000. And then on the financial statements, first page is the revenues. I don't spend a lot of time on the revenues until we get about 6 months in, but you can see the percentages are pretty close to what they were at the same time last year. Expenditures, the general fund, showed, total expenditures of 32.14% versus 32.68% last year, or a 0.5% lower. We're a third through the fiscal year, so right on track. Feel very confident in our, expenditure budgets and revenue budgets this year. I think we'll have a good budget year. Capital outlay fund is 60% expended. Special education fund, 26.36 expended. Bond redemption fund, 32.6%. Food service fund had a net loss, accrued loss of 62,956 versus last year at the same time of 132,000, so a little better. Trust and agency had $234,885 of amounts held for others. And then the last statement was the capital project statement, new elementary school. The current to-date expenses. Any questions?
I have two quick questions. The trust and agency report,
Yes.
the ones that go negative, is that normal or typical, or we have a policy on that?
Generally, those are the two that are in there, the letter winners account. We use that as a clearing account for the gate receipts, the cash that gets them started. So we just run that into the negative to get the operating cash, I'll say.
Okay.
And then the middle school teachers fund, it's the pop funds that take a while to get caught up. They just don't sell that much pop, so it takes a while to get caught up for Coke to
Got it.
get into the red.
Thank you. The one last other question I had on the investment report. The money market that we have access to all the time, we're getting 4.8. The laddered CDs are getting 4.1.
Yes.
Right. Should all the money not go in the money market account? Or-
I guess the question there, why wouldn't I just dump it all into the
Yeah.
money market? That's in consulting with all the financial experts with the rates as they are, everybody's
They locked it in
expecting
net CDs.
to go down, so we locked in these CD rates to hopefully get our best bang for the buck.
Got it. Thank you.
If I knew that for sure, I probably wouldn't be sitting up here, but that's what all my experts told me.
And any other questions this evening on the financial report? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the financial report as presented, please.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Lundberg.
Thank you.
General business items, administration reports, Administrative Center Superintendent Larson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A couple of items to update the board on here this evening. No change to our strategic planning timeline. We'll be bringing that in December. Our East Side Elementary, or I should say Berkman Valley Elementary, continues to proceed as scheduled. Dirt work, footings, foundation walls, all of those respective items are ongoing. We expect to see some precast construction here December, January-ish as that stuff starts to come together. Again, no change to the respective timeline. June 2026 is project completion and open for the fall of 2026. The South Dakota Public Report Card data and information became available here earlier. And I would just note that we will have our respective report regarding our school building data during the State of the Schools address on November 25th. The retired BV staff holiday luncheon, Mr. Bill Miller was actually in my office today, just dropping off the invite and hopeful that a Board of Education member could attend. So just note Thursday, December 5th at the Brandon Lutheran Church, we'll have the retired BV staff holiday lunch event. Mark your calendars for our legislative breakfast, Thursday, December 12th at 7 a.m. here in the community room, where we'll engage with our local legislators regarding the upcoming session. For next year's academic calendar, you'll receive a presentation at your first meeting in January, and then there's potential action at our second meeting in January, currently working through our respective liaison processes with our Teacher Liaison Committee, Administrative Liaison Committee, and our Classified Council on the development of that respective calendar. There is no school Wednesday, November 27th through November 29th for Thanksgiving break. We have a 2-hour early dismissal on the 20th. There's no school for winter break, December 23rd through January 1st. School resumes on the 2nd. January 13th, there is no school. I would remind everyone that that's a half-day flexible workshop day. That was an aspect of the budget reduction process and all of those respective things. And then staff seemed to enjoy that half-day flexible workshop day for grade posting, et cetera, at the end of semester 1, so that's continued. So staff are not required to come on site, but rather have the flexibility to work from either home or their respective classroom. January 20th, no school for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Madam Chair, that's all I have for you this evening. Would certainly entertain any questions you have.
All right, I don't hear any this evening, so we'll continue. Anything additional, Mr. Lundberg?
No, thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Larson and Mr. Lundberg. High school, any report?
He is coming up to the podium.
Thank you.
There we go. Busy. We have a few things going on at the high school, and Mr. Frecking isn't here because if you came late to the meeting, you had to park way out. So it's our winter parent meeting night. So they're going in the activity center. I know he'd want me to mention all the things or great things that are going on right now. So fall play, Big Fish. They have a big week coming up, so they'll be Thursday and Friday at 7 p.m. I do want to note that the Saturday performance gets moved to 1 p.m. when we make the finals at the Dome. So that'll be at 1, and then another Sunday performance at 1. In front of Big Fish on Thursday night, we have a little fundraiser that our CTE Foods class and our Creative Minds art class, pottery, are putting on. And this is simply for Thanksgiving's coming up. We want to stock the food pantries and things like that. So you can come early to the fall play and get some soup, free will donation. Really cool project that we're starting this year that we hopefully kind of catches on, but a lot of hard work by our foods classes and our Creative Mind art students. I think it'll be a really neat event. Also Thursday night, we just decided to sprinkle in a Sodak 16 volleyball game. That is at 6 p.m. against Rapid City Stevens. So I will just tell you this place will be hopping that night. Followed by Saturday, obviously we have our football team had a great comeback. It's talked about perseverance, not giving up, staying the course, everyone staying calm. Pretty neat to be a part of that and witness that. On top of that, the sportsmanship between the two teams was absolutely unbelievable. So made me proud to be a Lynx. I was also proud of Sioux Falls Jefferson and how they handled themselves. But we now have a date with Sioux Falls Lincoln at 5 p.m. I want to note 5 p.m., not 7, at the Dakota Dome Saturday. So lots of great things going on. Also want to shout out to all the district principals. I heard amazing things about veterans programs across the district, and really cool to have a school district that celebrates our veterans as much as they did. And that's it. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Flegway.
Thank you. Middle school,
Not this evening.
intermediate school,
No, thank you.
special services,
No, thank you.
elementary buildings,
Mr. Horst wants to get up to the mic, but everybody's holding him back, so no, thank you.
director of instruction,
No, thank you.
operations manager,
Oh, no, thank you.
and I heard that Mr. Frecking's busy.
Yes, he
All
is.
right, all right, thank you. No board policy this evening. That takes us to our general business. Under consent, I would entertain a motion to approve items 1 through 5, please.
So moved.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Personnel, I would entertain a motion to approve items 1 through 12.
So moved.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Items 13 through 16 are for information only. Under communication, there are building permit applications to look at if you would like to. And board reports, does anyone have a formal board report they'd like to share this evening?
I would just note that in a little over a week, we have our executive ASBSD meeting for the directors, followed by the delegate assembly that will be attended by Member Scott. Elections are over. We're learning about some of the special items that may be up for legislation, and I'll bring those back to you when I get them.
Thank you. Anyone else? Just a thank you to Mr. Heath Larson for the Learning with Larson series. All right, any other board reports?
No, President Ulm, we would need a motion to enter into executive session under codified law 1-25-2.2.
Okay, I entertain a motion to do that, please.
So moved, Saxer.
And a second?
Second.
All right, we will enter into executive session, so as soon as everyone has left the room, we will get started.
President Ulm?
Are we out?
You are out.
Okay, we are now out of executive session. I would entertain a motion to approve the superintendent's student discipline recommendation regarding student matter number 2432715, which includes 20 days out of school suspension, 3 Saturday schools to be completed by March 2025, 40 hours of community services to be completed by the end of the 2024-25 school term. Is there a motion?
Yes, so moved, second.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, roll call vote, Mr. Lundberg?
Bell,
Yes.
Odie,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Saxer. Ulm.
Yes, motion passes. Thank you. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting, please.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks, Renee. Thanks for getting on the phone.
No problem.